So a month ago, my aunt had a series of strokes. What happened was her blood pressure medication was starting to hurt her kidneys, and the obvious next course of action would be to lower her dosage so that her kidneys can recover from it. But the problem was her blood pressure skyrocketed after that. And luckily my cousin, and this is the same cousin that got me into like video games, by the way. This is a cousin that built my first PC. I love my cousin so much. He's basically like another older brother for me. And but yeah, he saw the signs, took her immediate to the hospital, and it seemed like the worst had passed. But then a week later, she had another stroke, and then this time it was a pretty severe one. So they had to drill a hole in her skull to release the blood pressure that had been building up against her brain. And me and my little sister, we went to visit as soon as we could. And yeah, I have seen patients in like a near vegetative state when I was in school, but it's very different seeing someone that you love being in that kind of state. It was very hard to determine like what I could do or say to help, or like if like anything I was doing was, I guess, remotely helpful. Yeah, I had a lot of questions, and I just kind of kept the nurse busy for pretty much the entire time I was visiting. I just had a million questions, like what do we do? Like how long does recovery look like? Does recovery look like it's possible for like a 70-year-old patient? And I learned a lot of stuff, and we left in good spirits. My aunt was at least kind of alert. She couldn't quite she could open her eyes and she could move the right side of her body, but she couldn't move her left side of the body. So she had a blood clot, and that stopped blood from bringing oxygen up into the brain. And once, let's say you are holding your breath, right? You only have so many minutes before your brain cells actually begin to die because of lack of oxygen, and that's what happened. And that's why she can only move the right side of her body, and it seems to be very like involuntary movements so far, but we are still hopeful that she can like heal, right? Because like after such a massive injury to the brain like that, it takes time. So I'm hopeful that she can get to a point where she can at least like kind of speak, or kind of like, or at least use her hands. That's what we're hoping for. So that's what happened with my aunt. I'll talk about my brother in a little bit, but why I chose this charity was because they have a really, really good overall score. If you have a charity that you're interested in donating and you're just not sure if it's like a good charity, if the money is actually being allocated to where you are hoping it is supposed to be allocated, you can actually look up the score. And this place scored like near 100%. So this is why I chose that one. And they're looking for improvements in care and helping, giving support to families that have family members with brain injuries. And every 9 seconds, someone in the world sustains a brain injury. And the difficult part about that is that no two people are the same. Like you can break a bone in your arm and everyone just has to wear a cast. Some people need like some surgical like intervention, but it's a bone and it's kind of the same across the board. Whereas like your brain has so many moving parts and pieces to it, it's very hard to see like how the brain has been harmed without having to just wait. And because of that, like the effects vary very greatly from person to person. Some people can just walk out unscathed. Some people like completely change in personality and demeanor. Some people just, like it's so hard to say, especially early on. And when I say early on, I mean like the first like 3 months. Like you don't know the extent of the damage until like they get to a point where the brain is looking a little less rough under neuroimaging. And yeah, a lot of factors would be cause, location, severity, because there's different kinds of brain injuries. There's traumatic brain injury. So this is what my brother received. He was driving home on his motorcycle, and a van hit him head on, and he hit the pavement really hard. He broke both of his legs, and he has not waken up yet. And it has been not too long, almost 2 weeks. And we don't know the extent of the injury because he is not awake yet. He can kind of squeeze your hand, and it's really hard to say if he can actually hear or not. But yeah, I think the worst part, like visiting my aunt and then immediately visiting my brother, was like, I hate seeing my little sister cry. Like I hold it together so good, and then I look over and my sister is crying and I can't. I hate seeing her cry. It's the worst thing in the world. And I don't know. I try my best to speak in English and Vietnamese and hope that they can hear me and I can bring a little bit of peace by just trying to, I don't know where their minds are. I don't know where their brains are, or where they're floating off to right now, or if they're like in some kind of a dream world where they just hear like disembodied voices. Like I don't know what a coma I don't know what a coma is like, but I don't know. I guess that's where like streaming really came in handy, is like I could like totally not look at chat for an hour and still have a million things to say. And so I just kind of did that every time I was at the hospital for a couple hours every day. Like I just sit and I talk about what's going on in my life, and I updated them on my careers and told them how their loved ones are doing and what holidays are coming up, and I just try my best to talk to myself, and I don't know, maybe that is like enough to make the pain or the whatever they're experiencing a little less harder. Because I don't know what a coma is like. I don't know if like do they know everything that's going on? Do they feel the passage of time? I don't know. I had so many questions. I was just asking the nurse, like, I just want to know, like, will they remember, like, all the pain, or will it just kind of play out like a dream or something? Will it, I don't know. Does it hurt? Does talking help? What helps? Anyways, sorry. It has been really, really hard for me and my family. And yeah, so a little bit about traumatic brain injury. So there's a couple of kinds that fall under this category. There's just your commonplace traumatic brain injury. It's across the board. When your brain function is altered by external force. So like falls, assaults, motor vehicle accidents, sports, combat. And then there's mild traumatic brain injury, which is considered like a concussion. A concussion isn't non-life threatening, but it is serious and still needs to be treated as a serious condition because it can get real really fast. And then there's moderate traumatic brain injury. That's when you have lost consciousness for less than 24 hours and there's signs of injury under neuroimaging. And then there's severe traumatic brain injury. That's when you're unconscious for more than 24 hours. So obviously, like, my family falls under that category. And then there's non-traumatic brain injury. This is what my aunt is experiencing, right? It's when your brain is injured due to internal forces. So it could be lack of oxygen. It could be like an exposure to a toxin that's attacking your brain. It could be an illness attacking your brain, like meningitis. You could get a brain aneurysm. like a tumor in your brain. So this is a cool chart. This is basically a chart of symptoms for brain injuries. There's physical symptoms, right? And this is for you to determine whether or not you have a brain injury. So you could experience headaches, fatigue, seizures, nausea, poor sleep, trouble walking. You could have light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, spasticity. So it's when your muscles get really stiff or you're having really involuntary muscle contractions. You have vision, balance issues, because those kind of go hand in hand, right? And then swallowing is a big one. If you like feel like you're having trouble swallowing, like I don't know, like go check yourself out, especially if you just bonked your head. Cognitive, so attention problems, memory problems, judgment and decision making, slower processing speed, word finding, speech issues, and then you can have emotional symptoms too, like depression, anxiety, lack of initiation, irritability, aggression, impulsivity. Yeah, these are all things that can manifest if you have brain injuries. So there's different types of I guess, like states you can be in past a brain injury. You could be in a vegetative state, which is what my brother is in. He does have a sleep-wake cycle. He is experiencing REM. He's still able to digest. So for my aunt and my brother, they had surgery to place in a feeding tube. And my brother, he has bronchitis, like chronic bronchitis. So they had to also put in a trachea tube to pull out all the mucus, basically. There's a lot of things that you can't really control while you're in a vegetative state, and his heart rate, fine. He can respond to some stimuli, like getting moved around, like asking to squeeze your hand. It's weird. Like he can't open his eyes and he can't speak or move too much, but he can squeeze his hand. And then there's persistent vegetative state. It's basically like a year after like a traumatic brain injury, or 3 to 6 months after a non-traumatic injury. It's when and if you're still in the vegetative state, then it's considered persistent. And then there's minimally conscious state. It's when you might be able to talk in short phrases. You can use yes or no gestures. You can use some objects. This is like what we hope will be the case for my aunt and my brother, so that they are able to go to a transitional home. So there's a couple care facilities that you're supposed to transfer to after a brain injury. The one we're hoping for is the transitional one, so they can relearn their motor skills again, and how to take care of themselves in basically like a new way. And then there's lock-in syndrome, where you can only move eyes and blink. I don't think that's what my aunt is in, because she is still able to kind of move and kind of make noise. But yeah, this is the brain injury treatment map. So it happens really fast, I would say. Like both ICUs that I went to had a very, very fast revolving door for patients. Like as soon as they were eval'd to be out of like the really dangerous parts of brain injury, and then they are immediately supposed to be I want to say ejected, but it makes it sound like they just like spring them out of their beds. But like they're moved from ICU to just long-term care, and then from then on, right? So okay, I'll just start with the flow chart. So you start at emergency evaluation, emergency department, and then you go to the ICU, and then you go to neurotrauma, polytrauma. They're trying to figure out what's wrong with you and treat it as fast as they can, because brain injury, like honestly, every minute counts. And then after that, after you're out of the woods, they send you up to long-term care. And then from then on, they decide what kind of rehabilitation your patient is supposed to go to. There's two kinds. There's comprehensive integrated inpatient, and then there's subacute rehabilitation. Subacute means under, acute means like very like a very grievous injury, like you are top 10 worst case scenarios. So a subacute meaning it's not the most grievous injury. You can go to a less intensive rehab facility. And then the one above is like definitely for a lot of older folks that have little muscle, little strength, need a lot of round the clock care. And then after subacute rehabilitation down there, they move to post-acute residential or transitional rehabilitation. So I guess one is supposed to help with like relearning your bodily functions, because you have to learn how to walk again, you have to learn how to talk again, you have to learn to use your hands. And then transitional care is like trying to teach you how to take yourself to the bathroom, or feeding yourself, or what to do if you fall. A lot of that is transitional care. And then you go home. And you could opt to have your family member be in like a community where they have like services to help. So like a nursing home, assistant living, etc. That is so much money. It is a ridiculous amount of money. It's like, it is so much money. I don't know. Every place just, you make a little bit too much money and then you have to pay like triple the amount you normally would, which is awful. I am very lucky that I can help my family out financially. Many people are not. So that's why after learning how many different like places of transitional care you have to take your loved ones to, and how much you have to pay for their entire stay, and all the new equipment you have to buy. I mean, you have to buy and install like, what are those things? The elevators with the chairs in them, hundreds of thousands. But yeah, I don't know why this quote is here. This is a quote, words full of wisdom that someone important said and can make the reader get inspired. Okay, I think that was just The nursing homes are insane. When my mom had her second stroke, we had to put her there for a while, and it's actually crazy how expensive it is. Yeah, I know. It's so scammy, bro. Hi, Lucy. I saw you donated the 50. Thank you. Tides, thank you. Anonymous, thank you. Who donated the 1,000? I freaking missed it. Wait, come back. Who was that? I'm so filled with inspiration. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you are. Let's see, we're at 12:37. Okay, I'm still on schedule. Poggers. Yeah, time to donate. So basically, I've got a pretty modest goal of 5,000. Just because I know we're all down on hard economic times, and I do have some really fun goals, and I do have some stretch goals if we decide to, if we are feeling ambitious and want to hit over 5K. What? 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 What the fuck? Guys, it hasn't even been 5 minutes! Guys, I don't have anything past 10K! 10K was the max amount of goals I made! Why? Shadow, you're fucking crazy! Dude, are you a Okay. Guys, the stream is literally over because I only made goals up to 10K. Up to 10K for my stretch goals. There's nothing past 10K. Well, VIP Shadow. Everyone unban Shadow. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Shadow.